Hello, in this tutorial we're going to look at how we can create another type of heat exchanger core, and in this case we're going to use two different strut lattices to create a hollow strut lattice structure that we can place fluids through. So to begin with, I'm just going to bring in a primitive shape into Gen3D's environment. I'm going to choose a cube in this case, and I'm going to set each of the side lengths to 50 millimeters. From here, I'm going to apply a strut lattice structure. So to do this, again, I'm going to click on the lattice tab and click on the strut lattice button. Here, I'm going to change some of these values. So I'm going to set the strut thickness to be quite thick, maybe 2.5, and I'm going to decrease the number of cells to 8 in each of the axes. And I'm going to toggle on the corner diagonal struts in this case. You could also experiment with other lattices. Face diagonals could be one, but in this case, I'm going to pick the corner diagonal button. I'm going to set my resolution to around 0.25, and then I'll press generate. This is a good compromise between solving in real time and getting a semi-decent resolution. So as you can see, this has created, as we'd expect, a solid set of struts. Now what we want to do is be able to subtract from this lattice another lattice that has a smaller wall thickness. So to create a lattice with a smaller strut thickness, well, I can go in and create a second lattice. So just as an example, what I want to do is subtract a lattice that, say, it has 1.25 millimeter wall thickness away from this lattice that has 2.5 millimeter wall thickness. So to do that, what I'm going to do is click on the model in the projects panel, and I'm going to copy and paste this in exactly the same place. So to do that, I will press Ctrl+C to create the copy and Ctrl+V to create the pasted version of that. Now, if I go down into the problem components, I have strut lattice on cube 10. So I can rename this by right-clicking and clicking rename. So I'll call this larger strut, just so I'm aware of it. And then cube 11 will then become, by right-clicking, I can call that smaller strut. So I'll take my strut lattice on the smaller strut, and I'll change the strut thickness down to that smaller level. And then, to make sure it cuts away, I'll toggle this checkbox that says solid off. So now, this new lattice becomes a void volume, and that means whatever doesn't have this solid checked will be subtracted from the other components that have a solid component attached to them. So the larger one will have this solid component attached to it, which is ticked, and the smaller one without this will be then subtracted away from the larger one, which has the solid in. And if all goes to plan, this should leave you with a hollow set of struts. As we generate, and as we can see, we've created now a heat exchanger core, and we can go in and smooth this by, say, let's use one iteration of mean smoothing. And here you can see we've got an open set of struts, which can be used to place one set of fluids through, and then the outside of those struts can use to place another fluid through. These can be manifolded in different ways. One way would be to use Gen3D's flow components, and we'll look at using those combined with the lattice structures in another tutorial. So this tutorial has covered how we can create hollow strut lattices, which can be used for a variety of applications, but one of these is heat exchangers. And thank you for watching. Feel free to put any questions you have in the comments.